Hello and welcome to the Matt Ligor Show. I'm your host, Matt Ligor, and this is my show. And on my show, I love talking to entrepreneurs and business people and people with some really good ideas. I like to share their story. Now myself, I've been doing this show now for about a year. I do show about maybe once a month, maybe a little bit more. Before that, I did a little radio show. I did that for about a year and a half or so. And so I've been very intrigued with TV my whole life. And I just wanted to talk a little bit. I watched a little Johnny Carson the other night, and man, his show was terrible. I never realized how bad Johnny Carson was. He was a horrible interviewer, but yet he was the pinnacle of interview talk shows at the time, late night talk shows. I just wish I was alive back in that time because I probably could have done really well. But aside from that, I'm making jokes about Johnny Carson who's dead. That's not even very nice. But aside from that, I love my show. I love to have people on to talk about things. I love people with new ideas. In life, we see people that come up with an idea, and you might think it's silly or stupid, and then it goes on to be a great idea. I mean, there's many people like that. If you think of someone like Elon Musk, they thought he was crazy for wanting to start his own space program. Yet look at it today with SpaceX. They thought the electric car was a joke. Here he is now. He's transformed it into one of the most profitable and biggest car companies in the world right now. And while I was thinking about that, I did a little research on people who had ideas that seemed at first to be ridiculous, didn't make any sense, but turned out to be incredibly profitable. And one of them was the Slinky. The Slinky was developed sometime around 1945. Believe it or not, that long ago. The Slinky is just if you don't know what a Slinky is, I'm sure you do. It's just a long spring. You can take it and make it walk downstairs and everything. Now the guy who invented that was Richard James. And you know how much money he made on the Slinky? He made $250 million on the Slinky. I've had several Slinkies myself. I think anybody my age, probably even younger, I know my daughter has a Slinky, and they always get tangled up and wrecked, and you got to buy another one. You can't have too many Slinkies. The other thing was a Snuggie. The Snuggie, everybody laughed at that. It was that blanket you wore. Yet that made $200 million. The Snuggie, $250 million on the Slinky. So when you have an idea, what do you do with it? It's easy to talk about it and never get anywhere with it. It might even get somewhere and then you give up on it because you don't think anybody likes it. It's kind of like pushing a boulder uphill. Well, today I have a friend on my show today. His name is Matt Govoni. Did I say that right?
Govoni.
Govoni. I always say the last name wrong.
Oh,
it's easy to get your first name right because it's the same as mine.
Sure.
Matt Govoni. And Matt, you are the inventor of the game called Racquetball.
Yes, Matt. The game Racquetball, it actually starts from way back. Growing up, I grew up in a family of 8. We always had a love for soccer. I was always at my brother's soccer games. I loved soccer from the get-go. I enjoyed it. I've played right up through high school. And, it was funny because this past Christmas, my son was playing a video game. It was called Rocket League. And Rocket League is a game that a lot of kids play on Xbox, PlayStation. It involves cars and a large soccer ball. So my son Chad, he was playing it, and I looked at Chad and said, "Hey Chad, can I try that game? Why not?" And he's like, "Yeah, Dad, go ahead, play it." So I sat down and I started playing Rocket League, and I'm like, man, this game is actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's 3 cars versus 3 cars, and you hit around a big ball to score in nets. And that started off my idea. I'm like, you know what? If I could bring this game to real life for kids to play, I might have an idea here. Maybe kids would take to this.
Yeah, right. So you saw an Xbox, PlayStation game that was fun, and you said to yourself, hey, what if I could bring kids into real life into this? Right? Like if they could really sit in the car and knock it around, it would be fun. So you had the idea. How long ago was that?
The idea started, it was probably, again, this past December.
Less than a year ago.
Less than a year ago.
Yeah.
I saw the game, I sat down, I played it. and again, I took to it.
Yeah.
And then even my son's friends, they were playing it.
Yeah.
I went online, and I'm like, man, millions of kids are playing this game. Even, believe it or not, adults were playing it.
Yeah, yeah,
So
sure.
it was just one of those games that people were taking to.
So your next step after that?
After that, I tried to come up with, I'm thinking, you know what type of vehicle could I use for this game? I need a vehicle that's going to be able to go forward, go backwards, almost like a zero turn radius lawnmower.
Yep.
And, so I was thinking, I'm like, what can I use for a car? It just happened that Christmas, my wife and I gave my daughter a car that would help contribute to the actual design of the racquetball car.
What was it?
What it is it's like a small plastic car. It's got wheels on the sides.
Kind of like a Barbie car or like a little truck or something like that?
Similar to that.
Yeah. Did they sit it? Was it something they'd get in and drive themselves?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's got controls on the sides,
Yeah.
2 controls. It's not a steering wheel.
Yeah.
It's got controls on the side, and if you, they pretty much work either independently of each other or together.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I took that concept of that car, and I was in my basement. I actually was tinkering around with it. I took it apart. I was looking at it, and I'm like, you know what? How can I link racquetball with this car to make a game for kids? And after 6 months of planning and looking and trying to come up with something, I came up with a prototype for this racquetball car.
And how many cars do you have now?
Right now I have 2 cars made.
2 working cars.
2 working cars.
Yeah.
And one of the main things I added to the car is not only a cage around the car to protect it,
Yeah.
but I also added a plow on the front of the car to push the ball like that in Rocket League. But the ball that'll be pushing is a fairly large ball.
Like.
Exactly. You're probably talking like a ball like this
Yeah.
big.
So bigger than a beach ball. Then.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. So obviously you must be some kind of inventor, and you're always tinkering, and you probably work in a laboratory, and maybe you have some patents already.
Yeah, that'll come in time.
What do you
That'll
do?
come in time.
What do you do?
Matt, I'm actually a public educator.
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed working with kids, coming up with ideas for kids to use. But even myself, I'm like a big kid.
Yeah.
For those who know me, for the kids, the parents, family, etc.
Yeah.
I've always been the youngest of 6. And like I said, back to my younger years, I was the kid they always put in that hit hockey pucks at,
You were always the goalie, right?
The goalie. I was always a goalie. How did I become a goalie?
Goalie or usually right field for someone who's
Yeah, the
youngest.
right.
So you're a public educator, but I mean, are you handy?
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually a plumber. And I'm just the type of person, I get an idea in my head, and then I'll take it to, I'll see how far I can run with it. Some people, they're just content with, waking up in the morning, going to work, and, doing what they have to do for the day, and going to bed at night.
Yeah.
But there's a part of me inside that says, if you don't try, how would you ever know?
Yeah.
If I never jumped on this idea, I will never know in the long run if it's a failure, a success, or whatnot.
Yeah, right. So you had your idea, you started making it. Now, after did you make the first prototypes?
Yes, I did, exactly.
So
That's
you
correct.
built it yourself, all right?
That's right.
And so now, obviously, the idea, you've got it in motion. What are your next steps now?
The next steps would be to build more of these cars.
Yeah.
I would have to have what I'd like to do is have a day where kids can come and use them, get familiar with the cars, how they work, and just kind of have a learning session, whether it's at a gym or court or whatnot.
Yeah.
And once word spreads about the cars, excuse me, I have right now 4 more in the process of being built.
Yeah.
And then after that, if the idea takes off, I'd like to have even more built.
Yeah. So it's a 3-on-3 game.
Exactly,
right?
that's correct.
And is there like a time limit on it? Like, do they or is it to a certain amount of goals? How do you play the game?
Yeah, I've been actually, with that, Matt, I've been kind of like toying back and forth about how much time, this and that. And again, even watching Rocket League on Xbox, they're short games. So I figure maybe like a 10-minute game, 3 versus 3. There'll be goals on each end. There'll be a referee in the game. The kids will wear helmets for safety.
Yeah.
And then it'll just be a 10-minute game, and whoever scores the most goals wins.
Yeah. Did you ever used to get on the Cape when you were a kid?
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, you go to the fun zone, the go-karts,
That's
the
right.
bumper cars, or whatever. I couldn't get enough of places like that when I was a kid. Matter of fact, when I was like 7 or 8 years old, we used to go to Revere Beach, and they used to have an arcade there, and they had bumper cars, and I would ride those bumper cars until my dad just couldn't take it anymore, which would be a long time, because he was very patient with that. One time he wanted to get it out of my system, so he thought he'd let me ride it forever. There was no end to it. Finally, we just went home. Kids love stuff like that, and there's nothing better than smashing into your friend, and then scoring a goal on top of it.
Sure.
I love the idea. So let's go back to you now. So where is your background from? Like, you're a plumber, right?
Exactly.
Public
that's right.
educator.
That's right.
Where'd you grow up?
Actually, Matt, I grew up in Plymouth, Massachusetts, right on the water. It's funny because when you live in front of the ocean, you just tend to not go there as much as if you don't. But anyways, I grew up in Plymouth. I grew up in a large family of 8. Growing up, my mother passed away when I was younger. So I pretty much, my father kind of took the reins from there with me. But a lot of people at the time, they were obviously concerned with me because they were not sure if I could, make it through high school, make it through college. But me being a determined individual, I took the rein. I took charge.
Yeah. Did you go to high school for like a vocational school?
No, I just went to just a regular high school,
Regular
Plymouth
high
North High School.
Yeah. What'd you go to college for?
I went to college for actually communications. I went through high school, then into college. I went to Bridgewater State College. And believe it or not, I actually started off working in the media field, which I enjoyed quite a bit. But after that, you know what? I fell in love with plumbing. And from there, then I started working for different plumbing companies.
Wow. So it's funny how life throws you a curveball, right?
Exactly.
I went to school for HVAC to work in HVAC.
Sure.
Came out of school, I did it for a little while. There's no interest in it, no passion in it. And then time goes on, leads on, and you move on and you do different things. I don't think that when you were 18, you probably saw yourself as a public educator, right?
Oh, no. Yeah.
And now, being an inventor, have you ever had any other kind of ideas you've come up with in the past?
You know what, Matt? Not off the top of my head, but honestly, I've always been like a creative type of person, but I've never acted on them. And like I go back to a phrase, if you never act on something, you'll just never know.
Right.
And whether or not it's a good idea or a bad idea, you'll always wonder, could that have been something? You just don't know. So with racquetball, I figure, you know what, why not give it a try? And if it, and hopefully it works.
How many kids do you have?
Right now I have 2.
2 kids.
2 kids.
Yeah. You said that right now. You're going to have more?
No.
Okay. All right. So you have 2 kids. What do they think of it?
You know what? They actually, they love it. They think it's a great idea. I've had their friends over the house. I've coached soccer. I've coached basketball. I've had teams over. The kids just, they honestly, they can't really get enough of the cars. Sometimes the parents have to pull them out. They're like, come on, we got to go. But the kids want to keep playing.
Yeah. I forgot to say it earlier, but we'll have it on the screen and everything.
Oh, yeah.
How can people see racquetball? Is there a website they can go to or anything they can see right now? It's where I know it's early on,
Oh,
there's some
yeah,
prototypes,
sure.
but is
Yeah.
there somewhere they can go see some pictures of it? Is there anything they can do, like if they're interested in it?
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Yeah, what they can do is I actually have an Instagram page up. It's racquetball underscore 2017.
Yep.
And there's some short videos in there. There's pictures. And there's also, I mean, if anyone, wanted to donate, there is a GoFundMe page on there. They could get a T-shirt.
Yep.
But yeah, it's pretty much right now. That's where I have all the pictures, my
Okay.
ideas.
So say it again.
Yes, it's Instagram racquetball underscore 2017.
All right. We'll have that on the screen too. So
Oh
people
yeah,
can see it.
yeah, sure.
All right, great. So people can see it that way. Now, public educator, do you think maybe you could float this out to some of the schools and have something in the every school could have their own version of racquetball? Hey, I mean,
Hey,
times
true,
are
it's
changing. You maybe have a racquetball league.
Oh,
Every
yeah.
team, every school has their own racquetball league.
Oh, exactly. That's a good idea, man. I never thought of that. I never thought of that one. That's good. It's funny you say that because I was thinking of bringing it to different schools. Maybe they let me, have the kids try it. Maybe during a half day or whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would actually be a great idea.
Because this is going to take some like ground level, the grassroots, let's say grassroots kind of working the people, going to the state fair,
Oh, yeah.
but that kind of stuff. I mean, not the
Sure.
state fair, but
yeah,
it is
yeah.
going to take stuff like that. I do think the concept is excellent. I really do. But it's going to take that. Now, have you thought of any kind of like marketing for it?
Right now it's word of mouth.
Yeah.
And once I get all 6 cars up and running, again, I plan to have a day. There's a place that I've been working with, TC's in Billerica. I'm going to schedule a day there that the kids can come use them, and just kind of spread it from there. I still have to work on a website. I have handouts. And that's where I'm starting right now.
Yeah, that's good. That's the way to do it, So what advice do you have for any, amateur inventors out there?
My advice, honestly, you only live once, right?
Yeah, right.
So, if you have an idea, again, I'll say over and over, but you'll never know if you never act on it. And I know there's a lot of people out there that I've talked to that said, oh, you could do this, you could do that, which is great. It's a lot of great advice.
Good advice?
Yeah, there's a lot of good advice coming in.
Any naysayers out there?
You know what, Matt? When I first started, I always had a couple doubters.
Yeah.
Which kind of at first kind of veered me off, and I was thinking, maybe this wouldn't work. But you know what? I've had other ideas in the past which I kind of steered away from.
Yeah.
But for some reason, this idea is actually stuck. It really has. I've thought about it, week after week, and I'm like, you know what? I've not seen anything that's similar to this. Or if there is something similar out there, the type of car in the way the car drives, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But back to your point, like I said, if you have an idea, go for it.
Yeah. You ever hear Tito's vodka?
No. Oh yeah.
Tito's vodka, a very
Sure,
popular
yeah.
vodka now. I heard an interview with him, and he was like, he created this himself. Like he created the recipe. He loved vodka, and so he was trying to get it promoted, and nobody would listen to him. There's too many other vodkas, too many of this. And he would go around at supermarkets and like, hey, you want to try my vodka?
Oh.
Can you? If some guy came up to me, no, I don't want to try anything you have. But now, you know what the #1 vodka is in most bars is Tito's vodka.
Wow.
So here's a guy, and the guy's probably somewhere around our age. You're a little younger than me, but somewhere
Sure.
around our age.
Yeah.
And now he's got an incredibly popular vodka line. But one of the things he said is when it comes to being an entrepreneur and an idea, you really have to go way past that point of where it makes sense. Like,
That's
you know,
right.
you got to go, you got to push back. And it's almost like the universe says to you, like, we're going to put some obstacles in your way. See if you're really serious,
Yeah, sure.
And if you're really serious, and then one day, all of a sudden, all that work comes together.
Yeah.
So, okay, racquetball. We can see it on Instagram. What are your kids' names again?
Chad and Kaylee.
Chad and Kaylee. All right. So they're the prototype drivers, right?
Yeah.
They're the expert drivers on it.
Yeah, my daughter more so than my son, but because he's too busy playing Rocket League in the house.
Oh, he's too busy playing. He's playing virtual.
He's playing virtual, but no, he has been in the cars. My daughter loves the cars. She's like I said, she's had friends over. They've driven the cars, but we've tested them on different types of pavements.
Yeah.
They actually work pretty good in a gym. There are pictures of them on asphalt.
Yeah.
But they do work.
They're better on like a hard, flat surface,
level
surface like a
exactly.
gymnasium or like the parquet or a tile
Sure,
floor, something
that's
heavy
right.
duty like that. So,
Exactly.
what's your ultimate goal with racquetball?
The ultimate goal, Matt, would be, someday I would love to see 50 to 100 of these cars going at once, whether it be a big tournament, and hey, I mean, I have big dreams, maybe across the whole nation, a whole bunch of these cars.
A whole league or a whole maybe not a league, but a whole version of racquetball throughout the country.
Sure.
What else? Anything else?
I just like to see, everyone take part in it. And I've always been a big pusher of kids having fun. When a kid has fun, it puts a smile on my face. I mean, I sit back and laugh.
Yeah.
Life is too short. Laughter is what, laughter, fun, that's what keeps me going. In kids, they bring that out of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, the more kids that are happier, the more I'm happier, the funner life is.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, really, happiness. If you're not happy, you're not laughing. It's a pretty dull life, right?
Exactly.
And it's so it's funny when you watch kids. I went to the beach yesterday with my girls, and just watching them play with other girls. It brings you joy to watch them having a good time. We go and I watch our kids play soccer and everything together, and it's fun to watch them like having fun together. It really like lifts you, So I think that's a great goal, great point of view. Now let's say, how big? Like, can I fit in a racquetball car, or am I too big?
Yeah, you'd be too big.
Okay, so it's not.
Right.
But maybe we could build some bigger cars at some point.
Yeah, that actually that's I forgot to mention, but again, these are the prototype cars. You could probably fit a child maybe up to about 120 pounds in it max. But I have thought about making them larger. That's a great idea for adults. Why not get adults in these cars? And they have tracks, like you mentioned earlier, where parents can drive go-karts around tracks, things like that. Maybe an adult league someday. Where parents can go get away from the kids and go have some fun.
Yeah, it might be nice to smash your own kids around a little bit, though.
Well,
No, but is there opportunity for marketing like your own car or like your own version of it, or maybe would there be like a helmet or gloves? Because it's always add-ons.
Sure, exactly. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, exactly. Right now, the frame itself, that was, I worked with another guy, we crafted that to fit the cars, things like that. Maybe down the road, right now I'm not I don't want to sell the cars, but you're right, maybe like, helmets, special helmets for teams, shirts designed for teams, things on that idea.
Yeah. So it sounds like mostly, though, it's kind of be like a game, like you go to like a destination to kind of play that way, you think about the things you go to play paintball, right?
Yeah.
There's a go-kart place right over here in Wilmington you can go to. It's a really nice go-kart place,
Sure.
You go there, people, and these places are packed, they have birthday parties or whatever. So it's going to be more like a destination type game.
Exactly, yeah. That would be the thing. The kids come to play, and then, they'd have their fun and excitement, and then, hopefully they would be a returning customer.
All right. Okay. So Rocketball, we can see Rocketball on Instagram. Rocketball_2017.
Yep.
Right.
And if you have any questions you want to text me, you could always text me at 617-901-1336.
Okay.
And like I said, I'd be more than happy to respond to that as well.
All right. All right. So Matt Govoni.
That's correct.
I said it right. I always, it's not a Matt Ligor show unless I say the guest's last name wrong.
All right.
All right. Anyway, Matt, thank you for being a guest on the show.
No problem.
Good
Thank
luck
you,
with
Matt.
Rocketball,
Yep.
and we will do our best to promote it as much as we can.
All right. Thank you very much, Matt.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for watching another Matt Ligor show. We had an interesting guest, Rocketball. All right. Well, it wasn't Rocketball. Matt Govoni was the guest with Rocketball. But pretty soon we're going to be able to go out and play that game. All right. Thanks for watching Matt Ligor show. You can always check me out on YouTube and the Matt Ligor show on Facebook. Thanks a lot.